best part of the 2025 Astros right now and worst part is?
The best part's Hunter Brown, and that's kind of without that's tough to debate. Their bullpen's been sneaky good. I say sneaky good. I think they have the best bullpen ERA in baseball, but Hunter Brown is the best pitcher in baseball right now, in my opinion. He did not have a great start yesterday at Steinbrenner Field. The jet stream in right field and the small dimensions did not help him. But he was due a clunker. I think he gave up 5 runs in 5 innings, and that raised his ERA to a huge 2.04. He has been the epitome of an ace. He's been everything that this team has needed and more. He is the guy, he and Framber Valdez are keeping this thing afloat and really stabilizing a pitching staff that's had a ton of injuries so far. So it's easy to say that Hunter Brown's probably the best thing about the Astros right now. The worst is the lineup. They are underperforming as an offense. Their offseason acquisition, one of them, Christian Walker, has really, really scuffled. Jose Altuve is in the middle of one of the worst 35-game stretches of his career. Yordan Álvarez is still on the IL with a hand injury. And all that being said, they knew coming into the season that this lineup was going to be a bat or two short, given that they let Alex Bregman walk, they traded Kyle Tucker. So when those guys aren't producing, when Álvarez isn't on the field and Altuve and Walker are scuffling, inherently the lineup's just not going to function. They have a 695 team OPS right now. They're slugging 378 as a team. It's not a deep lineup. It's not a lineup that is giving Joe Espada many options either, because as we speak right now, they are carrying they have 14 position players. 12 of them are right-handed, and their only 2 semblances of balance are switch hitting backup catcher Victor Caratini and left-handed hitting third catcher Cesar Salazar, who, since he got called up for Yordan Álvarez, has not played in a game. So Joe has very little he can do to mix the lineup up look-wise. Opposing managers can just send every right-handed reliever they have out there because the Astros have no recourse. They can't create a platoon advantage. They can't create any sort of late-game, advantage situations because this is a poorly constructed roster and it's a lineup that they knew coming in was going to be thin, and the guys that they are paying to produce are not producing.
Not going to any of the new guys first, but going to Jose Altuve. Is the lack of protection more evident in Altuve's at-bats throughout the short season so far, or is it a sign of regression that Altuve's maybe hitting that little bump year where he's going to have to make an adjustment?
I think it's a little bit of both, Eric. I mean, he did not have much protection, still doesn't. But they have slowly moved him down in the batting order. He asked out of the leadoff spot about 3 weeks ago, ceded that to Jeremy Pena, who's having a great year. And then a couple days ago, Joe Espada moved him down to third in the batting order, trying to spark something a little bit. And I mean, actions kind of speak louder than words at this point, that they keep finding ways to get him down a little bit. He's Jose Altuve. They're not going to abandon him. They're not going to not run him out there every day. I was joking on Crush City earlier that we were having this debate, and Reddick and I joked that, they play a 4-game series against the Mariners this weekend. He'll probably get 13 hits in those 4 games and make us all look stupid for, talking about his demise, if you will. But you look at the Savant page right now, it doesn't look good. It's a lot of blue. He's hitting 190 against fastballs against four-seamers this year. He hit 308 against four-seamers last year. His bat speed is down from his career, from other points in his career. His ground ball rate is very up. His line drive rate is one of the lowest line drive rates of his career. There's not much under the hood that says it's nearing or getting better or there's bad luck, but again, he's Jose Altuve. They're not giving up on him. He's going to run out there every day, and they have faith in him more than anyone that he's going to find a way to turn it around.
Where's Yordan Álvarez? Because we did a whole thing last week. I think it was that he didn't do interviews in Texas, and he missed this, and he's doing this, and they don't know what's wrong with him. Like, where the heck is Yordan Álvarez?
Well, I'll give Yordan credit. He did do an interview in Tampa on the first day of the trip in Tampa. I was not there, so I was not in the interview. But reading the quotes that he gave, it sounds like he was pretty frustrated, just that he didn't think it would take this long. But at the same time, he said it was something that has been bothering him for a while. He has had hand issues in the past. if you cover the Astros or if you follow the Astros for any length of time, you understand that they are not going to tell you much about injuries. They're not going to be specific about a lot of stuff. And they've lost all benefit of the doubt from their fans, from people that cover them. They've lost all benefit of the doubt when they start talking about injuries at this point. So at this point, anything they say about him, like I just kind of let go in one ear and out the other. Like I'll when he's back, he'll be back. So I can't really take much that they say now with a ton of merit. But if you believe what they say, he's got a muscle strain at the top of his hand. He is still swinging a bat, but he does still feel some discomfort while swinging the bat. That's what they say. So he has not progressed to hitting BP on the field. He's taken like soft toss and tee work, but he's still a little bit away. Like I'd be surprised if you see him this weekend against the Mariners, but with the Astros, who knows? They could activate him today and surprise all of us.
Can you give us another example besides the Yordan thing? Because Kyle Tucker last year had a contusion, and then we found out right when he was coming back, it was a fracture. But that was 3-4 months later. Is there other examples?
I mean, it's more, and look, I'm not here, and AJ Kratz, like you guys played, like I'm not here like seeking like medical records of players. Like I don't want to know what medicines they're on. I don't want, like, we're not asking for much here, but the clarity that they provide is non-existent. And the prognoses they give is usually, it exceeds what they say, or it's not all the way true. Like the lack of just alignment and communication has been something that has now spanned 3 general managers. It spanned 3 field managers. So this is not something that is new this year. It's something that has been for a while. You look at their guys, their pitchers that have undergone arm surgery and their return to play. Luis Garcia had Tommy John surgery, I want to say about 14, 15 months ago, and he's had a number of setbacks, not even thrown off a mound yet. Lance McCullers, we've been through how many setbacks he had. Dana Brown admitted last year that they rushed JP France back from a shoulder injury that caused him to tear the capsule in his shoulder and that needed a repair, a surgery. James Click, the former general manager, acknowledged that they rushed Jake Myers back from his torn labrum that he suffered in the 2021 ALDS. Click promised a review of the Astros return to play procedure at that point. He was fired a couple months later, so I don't know if that review of the return to play procedure ever actually happened. But if you've watched how they've handled themselves and how all these pitchers have setbacks and how all these position players aren't coming back on time, it would seem prudent that they would need to review the return to play procedure. And the Tucker contusion thing, I mean, at the end of the day, like it got to be where like they were making him look bad because like fans thought he was out for 3.5 months with a bruise. When, I talked to doctors, I wrote a story where I quoted like 4 orthopedic surgeons who said like, yeah, it's possible to be out for 4. These things can take this long to heal for a bone bruise, but it's not that common. And come to find out there was a fracture in there. So it's just kind of part of the territory covering this team. This is how they're going to operate. So you kind of have to roll with the punches and go with it.
Kratz, I'm going to let everyone in on a little secret. I am not a fan of carrying around physical cash. I go Cash App, where you can send, receive, or transfer money with family and friends. It's super easy. They've got your back too. Like if you're trying to send some money and you maybe put in the wrong account name, they'll be like, hey, this is a sketchy account. Are you sure you want to send this? Cash App has your back. They do it safe, securely, easily, and fee-free.
And all you got to do is download the app, and Scott can actually pay for his half of dinner.
Exactly. For a limited time only, new Cash App users can use our exclusive code to earn some additional cash. For real, there's no catch. Download Cash App, sign up. It's very easy, and use our exclusive referral code Territory in your profile. Send $5 to a friend within 14 days, and you'll get $10 dropped right into your account. Terms apply. That's money. That's Cash App.
Someone who had a lot of setbacks and had a tough time getting back. It's the anniversary of his debut just a few days ago when he wore his Batman cleats. Lance McCullers is taking the mound tonight. What is the difference that you see in Lance McCullers from the day that he made his Batman cleats big league debut and had that arrogance and swag to now somebody who's gone through quite a bit and has worked his way to get back out on the mound?
Man, that's a big question because, like you said, I mean, it was 10 years ago that he debuted. He's gotten married since then. He's had 2 little girls. I mean, obviously that matures you, like becoming a husband, becoming a father. He is certainly not maybe the throat slashing, swaggy like kid that was on the mound back then, but certainly believes a lot. Certainly, he's very confident in himself. That hasn't changed. That kind of inner aura and that kind of inner swagger hasn't changed. Maybe he's not showing it on the mound as much. As far as like what he is as a pitcher, like a completely different guy. Like the days of 24 straight curveballs to win a pennant in 2017 are long gone. You know, so are the days really of him as a curveball maestro. Like his curveball now is basically a show pitch to lefties, where like he's way more into his changeup now. He uses the slider a lot. The two seam is, I mean, you're not going to see a bunch of 95, 96 anymore. He's 90, 92, can hit 93. He started backdooring the two seam in his last start against the Rangers. He is a different pitcher, and injuries have kind of forced that. You know, he was away from the game for 915 days before, you know, returning this season, and he was never going to return throwing, you know, 96, 97, not the same kind of guy. And look, the curveball had kind of lessened in emphasis before he got hurt too. Like he had incorporated a slider, he had incorporated the changeup, he throws the four seam every now and then. He is a much more complete pitcher now than maybe he was when he debuted in 2015. And certainly he's been through a lot. One of the 2 remaining guys from the 2017 Astros that are still active with the Astros. So he's obviously been through a ton with the fallout of that scandal and everything. But a much more complete pitcher, a guy that's not going to rely on just spinning you to death with curveballs, a lot more varied, diverse arsenal, and a guy that is only growing in importance to the Astros right now, given Ronel Blanco's the news recently that Ronel Blanco had some elbow pain.
Chandler, a great story is Colton Gordon. He pitched in Tampa the other day he's from St. Pete. He grew up a Rays fan, the whole thing. I mean, this guy kind of came out of nowhere for this team. He's not a hard thrower. He's kind of a soft tossing lefty with a bunch of breaking balls. Can he help them in the long term? And plus, you got to tell the cool story about him, delivering pizzas while he was on rehab. It's kind of an awesome story.
Yeah, I guess I'll start with the pizza thing because that's hilarious to me. The Astros, he was a discount draft by the Astros. He had Tommy John surgery in May of his draft year, and the Astros took a high school kid with their first pick of that draft, needed to pay him over slot. So they were looking for some discount picks later in that draft. Colton Gordon, 8th round pick. I think they signed him for like $50,000 under his slot value, but he threw strikes. They liked the fastball from the left side. And, so once he signs his contract, they sent him to West Palm to rehab Tommy John. And if you ever meet and talk to Colton Gordon, he does not do well with just like sitting still, sitting idle. He's very fidgety, always has to be doing something. And he would finish his rehab every day at about noon and didn't want to sit in the hotel that they put him up in all day. So if you ever been to Florida spring training, you know about Clematis Street in West Palm Beach. He walked into Clematis Pizza on Clematis Street in downtown West Palm, said, "Look, I'm only here for 4 months, but if you guys will have me, I'll deliver pizzas." And they gave him the job. And I don't know that he made back the $50,000 that he got shorted in the slot value thing, but it was interesting for him to talk to. Like he said that allowed him to take his mind off the rehab. Like it gives you something to do during rehab to where you're not just thinking about, man, I'm not going to be pitching in a competitive environment for the next 9-10 months. Like Tommy John rehab is such an isolating experience and it's so monotonous. And like guys need that to take their mind off of stuff. And for him, it was delivering pizzas in a Ford F-150 in West Palm Beach. He didn't remember how much he made, but he did tell a story about he pulled up to one of those mansions on the island in Palm Beach, was bringing 10 pepperoni pizzas to the security guards that were working a party, and they tipped him $100 for delivering 10 pepperoni pizzas. So that was great for young Colton Gordon. Now, older Colton Gordon has made the big leagues. They sent him out after his last start in St. Pete, where he actually pitched very well against a Rays lineup that cannot hit left-handed pitching, but he pitched well. They sent him out with Ronel Blanco likely headed to the IL in the next couple of days. That would pave the way if they do need a starter for Sunday against the Mariners. Would pave the way for them to call him back up quick because he's replacing someone that went on the IL. I think he can help them. I don't know that he's like a middle of the rotation, like count on this guy, but He throws a ton of strikes. He throws a lot of different. He is the epitome of a crafty lefty. Just the velo's not up there, but like has a 6-pitch arsenal, can command it really well. And one thing Joe Espada has said, one thing that a lot of team officials have said, like, this guy's not scared. Like he comes right at you. Like he'll pound the zone. He's aggressive in the strike zone. He's going to make hitters get themselves out. And, I think this is a guy that could get them, 2 times through an order before turning it over to that bullpen that's been good all year. So, yeah, I think he can help them, and I think he may have to help them given the state of their kind of what they are facing injury-wise on their pitching staff.
Hey, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.